And with this, over to you, Sina.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Welcome to this session today. As Larissa mentioned, we had a couple of sessions over the month of July focusing on SAP for me. And today we will give you an introduction into user feedback summaries that we present to you as customers within the tool. Quick look at the agenda. We start with some background on the topic, where we are coming from. And then we focus on the challenge around the whole topic of experience feedback, the solution that we have developed, and we have through the tool SAP for me, we will do a quick demo, step by step, looking into the tool, how you can look into this feedback. We will explain how the business impact looks like, how this summary and this feedback can help you improve your user experience and satisfaction at your own company. And then we will close with some next steps and also open for Q&A. Before we jump into the concrete content of the PX summaries, let me give you a little bit of background where we are coming from when we talk about SAP for me. Some of you might know, not sure how many of you are actively using the tool SAP for me right now. SAP for me is our digital companion that you have access to as a customer, and that gives you insight into a lot of information, from commercial information such as contracts and consumption data, over functional usage, what I talked about last week in last week's call, also support information and cases, provisioning and IT landscape, and what we focus today on the topic of product experience feedback that we generate as a summary and present to you as a customer. With that, jumping into the content, please feel free to ask your questions in the Q&A, and over to Anja.
Thank you, Sina. So hello and welcome from my side as well. My name is Anja Fehlau and I'm heading the product management team for product experience. And I would like to give you a little bit of background on what we are actually doing in terms of adoption and experience insights in our global unit that is called Global Adoption and Experience. So first of all, our endeavor is to provide insights and also intelligent recommendations, actions based on adoption and experience insights. And for all of that, of course, the data is important. So we are collecting data all around commercial data, license consumption, usage data, and of course also experience data, which will be the focus of our session today. And with those data, we can provide tools and reports in order to help certain personas within SAP. So be it the product teams, for instance, but also for our customers. So be it the license manager or a business manager in our customer's organization. So that's basically our portfolio that we're driving along adoption and experience insights. And I want to dig deeper. Next, please. So as Larissa and Sina already have mentioned, so we already had some sessions that were more focused on the other topics like license consumption and functional usage. So this is all the data that we also started to share with our customers within SAP for me. And today we want to focus on the user feedback that we are collecting from the end users on our customer side. And next, please. And I would also like to give you a little bit a background on why this is important. So the satisfaction of our customers with our offerings is, of course, a key priority for SAP and a key enabler for our success. So, and one component to better serve you as our customers is also to better understand the end user's needs and what kind of system support and process support they need. And this is also why we have launched the Product Experience Management Program already about 5 years ago, in order to provide a direct channel from end users to our product teams. And what is that actually? So we ask the end users about their experience. So and I think that is that's a very important channel actually. So because it reaches our end users directly in the moment where they interact with our applications, and where they experience the product, the solutions firsthand. And of course, this is something that is commonly known. So in almost all applications, you have a button where you can provide feedback, and this is what we've also introduced for our products a while ago. And so with that feedback button, so the users can provide feedback at any point in time. And we also push invitations to that feedback survey on a regular basis. Also, of course, making sure that users not are over surveyed, so they will get a survey maybe once or twice half year. And this is a channel where we gather feedback on a regular basis. And on what are we gathering feedback? So first of all, there's a score around product satisfaction. So the end users can rate how satisfied are they with the application. Then we go a bit deeper into usefulness. So how useful is the product? How do they rate that? And how easy is it to use? And then the last question is the ask if they can also provide some commentary, so some textual feedback, which is actually the focus of today. So especially the textual feedback is the place or is the source of information where our product teams can learn from. So oftentimes there are things in the text feedback where you get indications about challenges that our users face, or also some good hints of additional features or functions that they might miss, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the data, and this is what we regularly do, so we also provide tools in order to analyze the data. Of course, this is also AI supported. And so we roughly see the reoccurring topics around training or documentation, usability, performance, configuration. So those are the large topics that we identified from the end user feedback. And if you cluster those topics, so you basically can identify two main types. So all the feedback that is more targeted towards SAP products and solutions. So this is more along features and functions, topics around usability, performance. So those are typical topics that are, of course, addressing us as SAP and our product teams. And I can assure you, the product teams, they are also regularly looking at the feedback in order to identify these kind of topics, and also use that for prioritizing topics for their backlogs. And there's another cluster of topics that is more along training, configuration, or the overall implementation experience. And those things we think can be addressed by the customer side. So those are very helpful insights where you, from the customer perspective, also can look into the feedback, what your employees actually are telling us. And maybe here you can also find some insights that are helpful in order to act on those things and improve the experience for your employees. And we saw that also in previous exchanges with customers, that there was also the wish, of course, so can we hear what our employees are saying? What kind of feedback are they actually providing via that channel? And this is something what we now want to address and present to you. And I'm also very curious now, since now I have spoken a bit about those in-app or in-product feedback process and functionality. So let me ask you a question. So have you ever used the in-app feedback feature in the SAP software? So I would be very interested to hear from you. So I see there are already some answers coming in. Okay. So I think half of you have already answered, and I see a clear trend. So to know, never. So that's, of course, an interesting finding. And maybe this session also encourages you to try out that feedback channel, because there's also something in for you. Okay, I think we have a result. Okay, so yes, frequently there's a minority of 4% who frequently use that functionality. So thanks for that. Occasionally we have like 18%, rarely 8%. As I said, the majority of 63% no or never. And 8% are not sure if they are familiar with this feature. So thanks a lot for providing those insights. And I think I'll hand over to Tatjana.
Okay, so that was interesting to see that you are not, so the majority of you are not familiar with this feature. And yes, so now let's have a look how we provide this information to our customers, so to the IT admins. But also, if you will next time use SAP software and see this button, you can share with us your feedback, and this would really help to us to improve the products. So let's have a look how this function is available to you and what we are actually talking about. So what you can see here is just a screenshot of SAP for me, and we marked with this star bubbles here the feature which we have added to the SAP for me dashboard, and I will talk to you a little bit more in the detail what we have as part of that card. So this is an additional card which includes the data which Anja already shared with you. And so this screenshot is showing to you how to locate this. Let's now have a closer look on the card itself. So what do we have in the card? Of course, we would like to provide you the key insights out of the feedbacks. And so what you see here, the summaries are produced only if we have more than 7 actionable feedback comments. And what does it mean? Of course, we can summarize only things which include some content. Sometimes users don't have much time. They provide only the kind of star rating of the experience. So on the scale of how satisfied they are, and this is something what we cannot summarize for you. And if users are providing some written feedback, then it's something which we definitely can summarize. And if they provide a lot of comments, so let's say all of the users are sharing any comments, then the chances are really good to have a really very rich summary. And if we have less than 7 actionable comments, then it's typically not enough content to summarize. Here you can see really an example, an extract or one screenshot which has been taken from one of the customers. So what we can see from the feedbacks are the texts. So all the feedbacks are anonymized, so we don't know which users are providing these comments. And typically after this summary, you generally can see the feedbacks for the solutions this feedback was provided to. And so here you can really get a glimpse of what's in the feedbacks. So here you see users appreciate aesthetic design of the graphical editor for timesheets, but find it challenging to use efficiently. So it looks like there are some challenges in the usage of that. And then further things are there is a potential benefit in enhancing training to improve user engagement with the system. So probably there were some hints on missing training opportunities, or users were complaining of not understanding the system. So sometimes the summary really gives you hints, and sometimes it's more tangible on what can be changed. So something like user may benefit from targeted enablement on locating necessary codes effectively. So if we are talking about some specific applications, here you would really can understand what kind of codes are meant with this, and really maybe take actions on this feedback. Or something like customization options offer potential to enhance user navigation efficiency. So these bullet points, what you can see here, are summarized through the AI system. So it's a large language model which was trained on vast amount of data by our team. So we manually labeled them and reviewed so that we really eliminate fantasizing, and really kind of trained it in a way that the summaries are really close to the feedbacks, real user feedbacks. So this is kind of to the introduction to the card itself. Now let's have a look on how you can reach this summary and where to find it. So now I will show you kind of a flow in SAP for me, so that you can really understand how to spot this feature. And for now, this AI supported summaries I enabled for SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition. And we envision in the next steps to extend this functionality for other public edition or public cloud products. So if you open up your SAP for me, this is most likely a screen where you will in product portfolio see all purchased products. And as you can see here, one customer has SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, and going into the usage tab, so here you could scroll down the page, and this is where the product experience card is visible. And of course, there are some additional information on that. So for example, you can export the summary to the Excel. So if you would like to share these insights with other colleagues, and let's think about lots of your colleagues providing feedback, of course, the summary would be a little bit longer and probably much more richer to really think about this and take actions. And one thing I would like to mention additionally here, so that the summaries are generated every 6 months. So that means that for the, so it's not like considering all the feedbacks from the very beginning of the solution which you have provided. So it's always kind of renewing on the most current feedbacks which are available or were provided for the solution. Okay, so, and of course, if you have less than 7 actionable feedbacks, the card would be empty until this amount will be reached, and then after that, the summaries will be generated. Plus, we have some companies or some regions or countries where user feedback is deactivated by the company. There, of course, if we are not collecting feedback, we will be not be able to summarize anything. So if you have disabled this functionality, there will be no summary for you on this page. Okay, so I think that's it to the demo. And now I would like to know from you to really get a little bit of an idea. What is your overall experience with AI tools for work purposes, to really see how, what are your expectations for these tools? And so we typically use a lot of AI tools. And I find it really super helpful for myself, for work, but also for private use. So it's getting more and more in use. And I see also all our participants, 50% of us, of all of you, more than 50% use it frequently, and as it supports me a lot. Yeah, so this is also my impression for myself. And few of you rarely use it because it's less helpful for the tasks. So let's give it a little bit more time to go, as I see like 50% of you already answered the poll. But I think this gives us already hints that this functionality could be potentially also helpful for you. I think we also could share the poll results. Yeah, let's end it and we can sharing. Yes. So you see it's almost 50% use it pretty frequently. Yes, and for those of you who are rarely use it, yeah, we hope that if you will spot this card on the SAP for me, that you will check out the feedbacks and the summaries. Maybe that would be also helpful for you. Okay, so then let's move on with our presentation. And now I would like to hand over to Anja to talk about the business impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Tatjana. Yeah, so now that you know about this in-app feedback channel, so and also the insights that we are providing back to you, not only to our internal stakeholders and product teams. So how can it help, and what kind of business impact does it have? So for sure, I think it supports you in decision making. So with those summaries, you should get some indication of pain points or challenges that your employees are facing. And there could be also some ideas derived, so what to do. So as we saw in the example, so some additional training on certain topics could be one measure or one action that could be taken. Then, of course, so it also should support a smoother integration and onboarding experience. So where you can identify what are the topics that need to be taken into account for additional training and for additional onboarding activities, so that your employees are facing a smooth onboarding or transition into new applications and solutions. With this, you also have increased efficiency at no additional cost. So this feature comes for free, so you don't have to pay for it. It's integrated with the usage dashboard within SAP for Me. And with that, you can easily access those additional insights. For now, of course, it's a pilot, but we are working on expanding that with more products and also more insights. And of course, closing the feedback loop back to you, to the customer, is also an important topic. Of course, it's your employees that provide that feedback. And with this, we also want to give back and provide the insights, the summaries based on those data points, right? And this also helps to close the loop from the wishes and needs from the end user to the actual resolution of the challenges. And with that, of course, we also want to create more transparency. And at some point, of course, we also want to look into the area where we can provide more transparency also on the product side. So what kind of things have been triggered based on the feedback that the employees, that the end users have provided. So it's a starting point, I would say, and definitely we are here also to learn from you. So how helpful it is if you have already seen that feedback summary. So is that something that is useful? So we had already some validation sessions with customers, and so that's already quite promising. All right, then let's head to the next steps. Yeah, as I said, so it's a starting point. The next steps is definitely that we want to scale that to other products, to other solution areas, so that we cover or provide summaries on additional products. And in the overview page, we also enhance that overview so that you can see at the first glance if there are feedback summaries available, and then you can easily navigate from that overview, from that product overview page directly to the summaries. Okay, so, and this is actually the content that we wanted to share with you. So I hope that was insightful for you, and we are here to answer your questions. Thank you.
So thank you, Anja. Thank you, Tatjana and Sina. And we have a couple of questions, and I suggest we start with a question in the chat. And the question was, what plans are in place to move from the reactive approach, the customer giving feedback on the SAP software, to the more proactive approach with WalkMe, scanning where the customer is in usage has taken too long to proceed or a certain point in the process?
Yeah, I can take this. Yeah, I think most of you know that SAP has acquired WalkMe, and definitely this is something what we are looking into. So we are working, of course, towards also leveraging data that's coming from WalkMe and on topics like how that plays together with our products. So this is definitely a topic hot on the radar, and yeah, stay tuned, I would say.
Yes. More to come.
All right, thank you for that. And let's move to Q&A part. We have a couple of questions there. And let me start with the first one regarding the generated action points from AI LLM. Is SAP going to ask questions, polls to users in order to clarify arguments in the points which are not self-explaining? For example, I would have problem to understand customizing option mentioned in the summary.
Maybe I can dig on that, and of course also Tatjana, Sina, if you want to add to this. So right now, so we definitely have our standard set of questions, so that I presented earlier. We also have some specific use cases for more specified questions that go maybe into more details. For instance, on embedded AI scenarios or things like that. So those surveys are more targeted and can be used by the product teams to dig deeper in certain areas. However, we also always need to find a balance between, okay, what is it, what you can actually ask via this in-product surveys, via this in-product channel. In other cases, it might be more useful to do a user research study or things like that, because this will provide much more information. And yes, sometimes there are also some statements in there where you don't know exactly what the user meant. And yes, you cannot go back because it's totally anonymous. But given that we are looking at mass data, and so it actually makes sense to not only look at one single statement, but rather on on a topic level. Maybe for more understanding, of course, you would go into the single statements, but look at more on that higher level, what kind of topics can be derived. And here, for sure, we're also using LLMs to analyze those topics. Yeah.
I would like to add to this answer, Anja. Thanks a lot for providing this answer. And of course, you can imagine you will see the answers or summaries just for your users. We as product teams have data from all customers, and sometimes users, like if there is a specific issue or function missing in a product, and several customers raise this topic, then you would probably have a little bit more crystal or more clear explanation to that through several customers and several much more wider user base to talk about this. Plus, of course, what we have for you will provide a summary along with the data, so along with the feedback, also what is captured from which application and also from which screen this feedback is provided. So we already have some context information which helps us to really allocate and know more specifically to what screen this feedback is belonging to. So of course, for you, it would be really a little bit more challenging to maybe deal with this things, but for the kind of product side of the house, we have a little bit more deeper insights on that.
All right, thanks for that. The next one is actually great feedback. As a feedback on AI-generated feedback card, I absolutely like it, hoping the pilot makes it to grow in product support. I think, appreciation is also sometimes very nice.
Thank you.
All right, so the next question is, are there plans to enable API endpoints to SAP for me so we could leverage the insights and data value for internal workflows and use cases?
Yeah, Anja.
Yeah, Sina, go ahead. Yeah.
So I would say right now this is not on the roadmap. We have just started with the first step of setting these summaries live, and we do appreciate your feedback. So this, I think, is a great idea. And as said last time, we do have the SAP Influence portal for SAP for me. I can just in a second I can link again here the direct page in the chat. But yeah, right now this specific use case is not on our roadmap, but I would say, yeah, great feedback, and let's continue this conversation. For now, we're in baby steps, I would say, in releasing this to SAP for me, and we're eager to make progress in a direction that is valuable for you.
All right. If this person who just stated the question has an interest for interaction, of course, feel free to contact Sina. Her email address is on the screen, so maybe for a deeper conversation. So the next question is, how many products are currently having this enabled?
Mm-hmm. Let's say the feedback functionality. I mean, so I would say roughly, really a ballpark number is maybe 70% of our most important products have enabled the in-product feedback channel. We are focusing purely on public cloud products. And when it comes to the provisioning of the feedback summaries based on that data, that's right now only S/4HANA. But as I said, we are expanding that. And also, of course, the prerequisite is that you see it in your page, that there's enough feedback coming in from your employees on that certain product, so that it goes over the threshold, so that we can also let the AI create meaningful summaries. So that would be the threshold or the precondition, of course, until you see something.
All right, thank you for that. I can't see more questions in Q&A tool, but to all the participants, please leverage this chance. The experts are there. You can post your question via Q&A tool or in the chat, or you can raise your hand so I can unmute you and let you speak. But the last option is only for brave ones. All right. So meanwhile, while we are waiting probably for more questions to come, again, from my side, the materials of today's session will be uploaded on the dedicated playlist on YouTube. And I've shared already the link in the chat. And it might take a few days until it's uploaded, but the materials will be there. And also to those who are regularly participating in our weekly webcasts, today is the last session before the summer break. In August, we won't offer any topics under Move to Cloud ERP webcasts, as August is a summer break month for a lot of countries. And so also for our experts, therefore, we will skip August. But we will resume our operations in September again. I will, of course, share the topics that we will be offering in September. So stay tuned, especially as you are subscribed to our series. You will receive notification with the schedule for September. So let me check the Q&A tool. I can't see additional questions. So there is probably one, exactly one have arrived. Thanks for the feedback and for your info. The SAP for Me API endpoint ID already exists in the SAP Influence portal and has more than 50 upvotes. All right, so
Interesting. Yeah.
good to know, good to know. And for this, we actually have these sessions in order to also to learn something what we didn't know yet. All right, so
Maybe just to add to that point, sorry, maybe I misunderstood the question. I thought it was really related to API for the specific user feedback. API in general out of SAP for me is, as you said, it has a lot of upvotes. We know that, and this is something that we're working on. And yeah, this is being heavily discussed within SAP at the moment. So maybe, sorry, I misread the question or the context.
but at least clarified now, which is good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so I can't see additional questions. Again, thank you very much to our participants for being with us. And of course, thank you very much to our speakers team. Thanks, Anja, Tatjana, and Sina for being with us, for sharing these insights, also showing how it looks like in SAP for me. This is definitely helpful. And yeah, look at this, all these applauses and thumbs up and hearts are for you today. And again, thank you very much. We are wishing you great summer break. Stay tuned with us. And I hope you will join then in September. Thank you very much and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank-
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.